You also mentioned present moment awareness, which, all this inter-knowing and inter-feeling and being enlightened by all beings is only possible when we have present moment awareness.
That's right.
And speaking of Reagan's fear, also when we have present moment awareness, that is equally dispersed and possibly diffused as we share it with everybody else. Is that something that makes sense?
Yes, and interspersed is fine and wonderful, and we can do that without dissing the narrator. Human beings need a narrator. The research is really clear. I talked about this research in my brain science class a couple of weeks ago. We think anatman, no self. Well, no self because the self is a constellation of experiences and memories. But there needs to be a narrator tying things together. And if the narrator can open up beyond their limitations, that's when we move into it, to big heart mind. When I was young, I used to think, oh, well, if I just did another session, I'm going to get rid of this narrator. Good luck, honey. Anyway, would you want to get rid of the narrator? Just the narrator can open up, change his story, develop a story which is more inclusive, more loving, more happy. That's through your practice.
So Tim, so I was not in your class where you talked about the narrator, but is this idea of, we'll say, a mindful narrator, an alternative to the me that's on autopilot?
The me that's what?
That's on autopilot.
Yes, that's right. Well, you've just articulated it. Jason, you've just articulated it. Yeah. Right. So much of our narration is either on autopilot or it is redundant. Have you ever noticed the redundancy of your narrator? Jeez, why does your narrator have to keep going on and on 32,000 times? But your narrator learns to be permeable through this practice. Permeable, but not permeable in terms of it dies, because you need it. But permeable in terms of it feels a wonderful interconnection with everyone. It's learning from people. Always learning from people. Always. But meditation helps us see how crazy the narrator has become. A lot of people who do, especially shikantaza, which is meditation where we don't have an object, where we just sit and face the wall. After they've been doing it for a year or two, they come to me and they say, oh, I just want to give up. My mind is too crazy. And I said, well, you just weren't noticing how crazy your mind was before you started sitting facing that wall. Is that right? And usually they say, yes. So, but that's the way the human mind is. The human mind is always checking things out, always worried about what's going to happen. And even facing the wall, we have time to just check out all our memories and make sure that more bad things don't happen. Was there another? Yeah.
Tim, can we go back to that narrator who may or may not have a repetitive thing going on in your head and over and over again? That's not helpful. Tell me what you think of this and if you have any other strategies you can. But sometimes when I get caught in that over and over kind of dark place, I think this is a Suzuki thing from Zen mind, beginner's mind, but instead of having your horse mind in like a small pen,
Yes.
having like a big field, and then that way I don't have to push away these thoughts, but I can let a whole lot in. So I don't know what you think about that.
I think that's wonderful. Yes, thank you. No, I think that's wonderful. I probably quoted that. That's one of the things I probably quoted my teacher in all three of my books. And because I've got to keep my mind active, so it doesn't just do redundancy over and over. I've already got my fourth book in my head. Woo! My mind is a trip. It's already doing a fourth book? Come on, mind, come back. You can do your fourth book, but come back. All of our minds do that. It's the nature of the mind to wander. You think that some advanced person, their mind doesn't wander. No, but there's more enjoyment in the wandering. Much more enjoyment, and much less redundancy. Because when we're really wandering, we're not repeating. Everything's fresh. Everything's fresh.